This is an article from Mike McIntyre from Winnipeg, and this has to do with the Jets. Okay. And I'm just building a case here, so go with me on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Lawyer Adam
actually sent this to me. Source A made it clear to me the problem was entirely on Winnipeg's power brokers, from ownership to general manager Kevin Cheveldayoff to coach Paul Maurice to Wheeler, who runs the dressing room along with alternate captain Mark Scheifele and have repeatedly butted heads with the more laid-back Laine. In his mind, they've cultivated a toxic environment that had Laine looking for the quickest exit. The issues in Winnipeg right now, and this is a quote, the issues in Winnipeg right now have to deal more with issues in the dressing room between competing personalities. And when there is a divided room, that gets around the league. And players generally, if they have other options, are going to exercise them until that whole situation gets cleaned up. I'm surprised it's been allowed to go on this long without people in charge getting in there and cleaning it up. It's going to have a great impact around the league with people choosing to play in Winnipeg or not, which is important for a small market franchise. Now, same writer, source B, different opinion, suggested in no uncertain terms that Laine and Laine only was the problem, that a perceived lackadaisical approach towards his career quickly wore thin. All of the issues in the room could be solved by trading one guy, Patrik Laine, said the source. I suspect, like so much in life, the truth is somewhere between source A and source B. None of the key parties, the ones who really know what went down, is willing to share it publicly.
Right.
And Laine spoke Saturday and refused to point fingers on the way out the door. I still think, based on all of this, and then a Finnish publication posting this.
Well, this one's...
Are you ready? This is Aliati.
This is fun.
Atiali? I don't even know how to say it.
I'm not sure, man.
Yeah, it's Finnish, man. Like, if you're Finnish, correct me, but like, I'm not even going to try. The Finnish publication cited, quote, inside sources, gee, I wonder who, claimed that Patrik Laine was mistreated by forwards Mark Scheifele, Blake Wheeler, and that Paul Maurice was too weak to defy them. Quote, Wheeler felt his position on the right side of the number one chain was threatened because Laine was originally a right winger. Wheeler was also not enthusiastic that a young man from Finland would become almost as popular in Winnipeg as Teemu Selanne. Outside the rink, Wheeler and Scheifele threw sand at Laine's skates in every possible way. Wheeler in particular was a master at speaking behind the backs of a Finnish young man for things he certainly did not want in public, meaning basically, and the English translation's a little rough, but basically that Scheifele and Wheeler worked to undermine Patrik Laine.
So I was talking to some people about this today, and I was like, they threw sand at his skates, and then we were like, what might be getting lost in translation here? Oh, was he sandbagged? Is that what they're trying to say? So we were figuring it out and trying to put it together. I'm not calling anyone here a liar. I don't know who any of these people are, but there is a quote in there that I cannot believe. Like Mark Scheifele's like, I'm really talented and everything, and I do a really good job. But I'm just worried that they're going to like the other guy more because he's Finnish.
Well, I think it's Blake Wheeler that was supposed to be the guy that has the problem.
Same thing. What yeah. Blake Wheeler should be threatened by Patrik Laine for so many more reasons.
Then he's Finnish.
He's Finnish?
It might be popular. Like, yeah. Well, I think that might have to do with
Austin Matthews joins the Jets and he's like,
at least it's an American.
Right. We got rid of the Finnish guy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like, no, I don't know. That sounds ridiculous. I don't dispute that it was said, but I don't know. That's very bizarre to me. I don't know.
And maybe a little bit lost in translation as well. Maybe it wasn't well translated. We can bet probably that it had less to do with the nationality and more to do with the attitude. Now, you can Blake Wheeler and Mark Scheifele are like diehard Winnipeg Jets. These guys are going down as two of the greatest Jets of all time. No question, right? Yeah. But the thing is, at a certain point, if you have a system and you've got 22 other people or as many as 26 in the taxi squad situation, you can't expect that 26 different individuals are going to conform exactly to the way you conform or what makes you perform well. And let's be honest here. Blake Wheeler mentioned that, he maybe could have, done things a little bit differently with Patrik Laine or whatever, or, with Evander Kane, this is the way we do things. Well, maybe the way you do things works for you. But Blake Wheeler, exactly. Blake Wheeler doesn't have the talent that Patrik Laine has.
And he's real
Therefore,
good.
yeah, 100%. But I'm just going to throw it out there. Let's say Patrik Laine is more gifted. I don't think anybody's going to dispute that.
Oh, he's more.
I think Blake Wheeler worked harder for what he has than probably Patrik Laine did for him, for his self. I think Patrik Laine's got a gift.
Yeah.
And it bothers people that have to work extremely hard when people who come in and are extremely gifted and don't on the surface have to work as hard. And I'm not saying Patrik Laine didn't. It bothers them. And
Shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
God.
You cannot build a team on the same guy 26 different times. There are going to be guys that you don't like.
Imagine if I was like jealous of how Adam, like I was jealous of Adam's ability to like steer the bus, like drive a show, and
or I was jealous of your sense of humor.
Well,
if I was jealous of Steve's sense of humor, I tried to be funny like Steve. I'm not going to fucking do it. I'm not that guy.
Yeah, you're right. I'm hilarious.
If the expectation of Wheeler or Scheifele or any guys on a hockey team is that they're going to get along with the other members of the hockey team, I think that's a ridiculous expectation. It's like everybody's had a job. Everybody's been in a workplace. You're not going to get along with every single person you work with, or they're not always going to work as hard as you. And if just because somebody doesn't mesh with the way you do things, you want to get rid of them, I think that's ridiculous. You know, you're going into wherever you work, it should just be like, okay, maybe 3 people here I'm not just going to be friends with, but we can still coexist and work together. Team. And still, he can still pass me the puck and score. He has a great shot. Like, who cares what he does off the ice?
Here's the tiebreaker to me, right? So it was very interesting that you had that one story that was source A blames one side, source B blames the other. The tiebreaker is because there are, there's a source that feels one way and a source that feels the other. To me, that is a clear indicator that the room is split. Mm-hmm. And if the room is split, to me, that's on leadership.
Agreed.
And leadership's not Laine. Laine is the other, or it's the other guys. Leadership's the other.
Well,
guy.
And you want to wear a captain, or you want to wear an A or a C. You got to be the one that brings those people in and motivates those people and reaches out to those people. It doesn't sound like, from the quotes that I've read, that there's a lot of that going on. And we could talk about how great they could be, great human beings. That doesn't mean they're great leaders. And Blake Wheeler's leadership specifically has been questioned before. He's talked about openly how he needs to back it off a little bit, that he's a little too harsh. And at a certain point for a small market team like Winnipeg, and I know that their ownership has a ton of money, but they are a small market team and it's harder to sign free agents there. It is, especially when a room's fractured. He even said that in the article. It's something where if I'm Kevin Cheveldayoff, I'm happy with the team as it stands. That's great. But I need to sort this problem out soon, because you cannot have a leadership group that alienates young players. Pierre-Luc Dubois, after what he did in Columbus, is going to come into this with this like military drill unit style thing. You guys are worried about Patrik Laine with John Tortorella. I'm worried about Pierre-Luc Dubois with Scheifele and Wheeler.
It's also different if they had a history of winning. Like if these rumors came out about Sidney Crosby, it's okay because Sidney Crosby's got 3 Stanley Cups. You put up with whatever he wants because that's the way he's proven is going to be successful, because he's going to lead that way. And Winnipeg just doesn't have that track record where it's like, hey, this type of leadership is going to work. So if they could win, then who cares however Blake Wheeler is treating that locker room. But
you made it to the conference finals one time.
Let me translate what Jesse just said. Who the hell are you?
Question.
I agree. He's right.
Did Blake Wheeler win the cup with Boston in 2011?
No, he was dealt at the trade deadline before they won the cup.
Oh boy.
Yeah, let me go look
at Atlanta, right?
He was dealt to Hot Atlanta. Oof. Yeah, NHL trade tracker.
Woof.
He was drafted 5th overall by the Coyotes, didn't go. I don't remember how the Bruins got him. I can't remember if they just signed him.
He didn't go to Arizona.
He didn't go. He was drafted 5th overall in 2005.
Okay, so he knows something about not wanting to be with a team.
Or 2004. Like, this is... God, like, what a fleecing. Like, this is... The Bruins made this trade and then won a cup. Like, they made 2 relatively bad trades the year that they won a cup, but they won a cup. The Bruins got Rich Peverley and Boris Valabic. Do you remember Boris Valabic? He was 6'7", 231 pounds. Supposed to be the next Zdeno Chara. Was not. Then the Atlanta Thrashers get defenseman Mark Stewart and Blake friggin' Wheeler, who had back-to-back 91-point seasons before COVID.
Wow.
God.